Hello everyone, welcome back to Insta Live on Fry. I'm Jenna, I'm a youth specialist here at Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and the theme for Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month this year is Talk About It. So today I would like to talk about how you as a friend or a family member, a classmate, roommate, teacher, can help support someone you know who's experiencing teen dating violence. I would also like to talk about how you can navigate or help someone navigate ending an abusive relationship. Now, this month we have discussed the behaviors and characteristics of both healthy and unhealthy relationships. We've talked about tactics used by an abusive partner to gain and maintain power and control in a relationship. And we've also talked about how to set, communicate, and practice consent and boundaries in a relationship. Now, we have gathered that dating abuse is a pattern of coercive, intimidating, and or manipulative behaviors that are used to exert power and control over a partner. And while we define dating violence as a pattern, it's important to realize that that doesn't mean that the first instance of abuse isn't also dating violence. We simply just recognize that dating violence tends to involve a series of abusive behaviors over a course of time. So today we will focus on what we might do to intervene as a friend or a family member when someone we know is being impacted by dating violence. So bystander intervention is a philosophy and a strategy for prevention of various types of violence, including bullying, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and intimate partner violence. Now, a bystander could be a person who's aware that someone is being abused in a dating relationship. And the bystander may become aware of the abuse through the abuser's or the target's actions or words, or through secondhand information. Now, the education and empowerment of students and young adults through bystander intervention can enable young people to develop skills to become active bystanders and help create a safer and healthier school or community. So whether you're on campus, online, at home, at work, or hanging out, if you see something concerning or notice changes in someone close to you, like maybe they're no longer posting on social media, or they're not texting as much, or they're absent from class, you could ask questions, something along the line of, hey, I've noticed you've not been on social media much or texting. Is everything okay? Something as simple as that. Now, there are also some other things that you can do as a bystander to support someone who's experiencing dating violence. A few of them are, you could listen to what the student, family member, or friend is saying without interrupting. You can find out what the person would like to do about the relationship and support them regardless of their decision. You may let them know that the abuse usually gets worse over time, and it's important to let them know that you will be there for them whenever they need you. Now, be aware you should expect that person may be confused about their feelings or about what to do. It's very common for them to change their mind, maybe even a few times. So be mindful of your body language and respect the person's right to privacy and their personal space. And you can help that person become informed of available resources like that of Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes. We are available 24/7 at our hotline number, 1-800-247-7273. And you can also determine how you feel you should proceed with informing a trusted adult, especially if you feel that person's safety may be in danger. It's important to trust your gut. It's also important to remember to take care of yourself too. So know your limits and set appropriate boundaries. Not everyone has the emotional capacity to support a survivor, and there's no shame in that. Knowing the signs of vicarious trauma and paying attention to your own emotions are important. Your loved one deserves support. But if you're at your limit, it's important that you refer them to a domestic violence agency like Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes. Then you should prioritize your emotional well-being and practice self-care to replenish your emotional resources. There are also a few things that you should be careful not to do when helping a friend or a family member who is impacted by dating violence. Do not judge the person. Try not to give advice, but instead talk to them about the choices that they have and help them find people or resources that can help. You should be careful of asking unnecessary questions because they may shut down if they feel they're being pressed to share information that they're not ready to talk about. And most importantly, do not confront the person's abusive partner about the abuse. Confronting the abuser may put you in danger, and it may certainly put the victim at increased risk. So, if you think that your friend or family member may be in an unhealthy or an abusive relationship, one way to provide support is to ask them how they're feeling about their relationship and reflect on that together. Specifically, I would suggest trying to work a couple of these questions into conversation when your friend or your family member has already brought up their partner or their relationship. So you could ask things like, how have things been with you two lately? Or you could ask them things like, what have you been trying to do to work things out? What does an argument look like between you two? Maybe when is the last time you were truly safe and happy in your relationship? And I think the most important question to ask would be, how can I help? Right? So, as your friend or your family member or classmate, roommate, student, answers these questions, and as you talk about their partner or their relationship, it's important that you focus on behaviors. So, talking about your friend or family member's partner, for example, like saying he's a jerk or she doesn't deserve you or they weren't raised right, can actually make your loved one or your friend or your student feel like they should have to defend their choice in being with that person. So instead, it can be helpful to label what kinds of behaviors are healthy and unhealthy or even abusive, to draw a contrast for them. For example, you could say, wow, it's concerning that your partner is pressuring you to either give up your social media or give up your passwords. In a healthy relationship, everyone has the right to privacy and their boundaries will be respected. If your friend or family member's relationship has moved from unhealthy to abusive, where their partner has shown a pattern of behaving in ways designed to control and have power over them, it's important to understand what it may take for that friend or family member to make a change in their situation. It's important to understand that the healing process isn't linear. While it's understandable to be concerned for your loved one's safety, it's important to know that leaving an abusive partner is the most dangerous time in an abusive relationship because of the ultimate threat to that abusive partner's power and control. And given these safety risks, it's important that a survivor has time and space to carefully consider and plan any decisions about making changes in an abusive relationship. So it's very important to remember that their autonomy is vital. We know that when survivors feel supported, they are more likely to feel strong enough to take steps to help keep themselves safe. Because abuse is all about power and control, everything your loved one's partner does in their relationship is about undermining your friend or your family member's confidence, autonomy, and self-esteem. To combat this, it's crucial that people who support survivors and have their best interest at heart understand that the survivor is the expert in their situation. And encouraging your loved one to trust their instincts and letting them know that their situation is known by them best is really more helpful than you could imagine. So it's really also important to be careful not to assume or suggest to them that they can either be safe outside of their relationship or in danger in their relationship, because this really oversimplifies the process of leaving and it overlooks major safety concerns. So leaving an abuser is the most dangerous time in a relationship, as the abuse tends to escalate as the abuser feels the control and the power slipping away. And ending an abusive relationship does not usually mean ending the abuse. Emotionally abusive behaviors such as stalking and threats may even increase after a survivor leaves. So leaving safely requires careful preparation and planning. Simply leaving an abusive situation without considering both immediate and long-term safety concerns and emotional support needs can actually put a survivor in more danger. When navigating the ending of an abusive relationship, it's important to have a safety plan in place. And a safety plan is a personalized strategy to navigate from potentially dangerous situations. So once you've made the decision to end the relationship, your instinct might be to do it quickly, but during a breakup, your partner might escalate their aggression towards you or even threaten self-harm to keep you from leaving. So that's why it's really important to take time to make a plan of action and know that it might change over time. So if you are at all concerned about your partner and how they might react during a breakup, or if you feel increasingly threatened, it is vital to add more safety measures. And remember, it's always better to be over-prepared and take precautions. It's also important to keep in mind that if you are in an unhealthy or an abusive relationship, you should know that the abuse is not your fault and that you deserve to feel safe. Asking for help to leave a relationship that no longer makes you happy and threatens your safety is a sign of being brave and a sign of strength. There is no weakness in leaning on people and the resources around you. It's easy to look back on a relationship and focus on the good parts. And doing this may make you question if you want to go through with the breakup at all. So there are two key things to remember here. First, you may understand the reasons behind your partner's behaviors. You may understand them, but you also might know that there's never an excuse for treating you in an unhealthy way, right? So it's important to remember that it's not your job to fix your partner. And second, feeling sad or missing your partner is completely normal during that breakup. You should trust your gut in making the best decision for you. And then you should also lean on your support networks to help you through this really tough time. When navigating the ending of an abusive or an unhealthy relationship, it's important to create a safety plan. And you can do this by reaching out to your local domestic violence organization, like Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes. So we're available 24/7 at our hotline number, 1-800-247-7273. And we have trained professionals waiting to assist you in creating your own personalized safety plan. And we can support you through that process. We also provide assistance in obtaining family court orders of protection, as well as offering court accompaniment, individual counseling, and referrals to other resources that you might find helpful. So it's also really important to let your friends, family, a grown-up, a guardian, a trusted adult know that you're ending a relationship, especially if you feel that the other person may confront you while you're alone. And if you don't feel safe, you shouldn't break up in person. Trusting your gut and choosing to actually do it over the phone or do it over social media or maybe even a letter might be the safest way to do it, even if it seems impersonal and mean. And if you do feel as though you can handle this breakup in person, it's very important to strongly consider doing it in public, where there are other people around, and you should have your friends and parents close by, nearby. You should always make sure you have your cell phone with you. Make sure that people know where you are, when you're going to be there, and when you should be heading back home or to your next destination. Teen dating violence awareness is crucial. 1 in 3 women, 1 in 4 men, and 1 in 2 trans and non-binary people will be in an abusive relationship within their lifetime. So understanding the signs of both a healthy and unhealthy relationship can be helpful in ensuring that you are being treated and cared for in the relationship the way that you deserve to be. Being aware of the tactics that one can use to gain and maintain power and control in a relationship can be helpful in measuring whether equality is practiced in the relationship, as well as understanding the quality of the relationship. And so we know that communicating boundaries and practicing consent creates a healthy relationship where both partners are equally appreciated and respected. And we have also learned what we can do as a friend or a family member, a classmate, a teacher, a roommate, to recognize if someone we know is in a relationship where there are signs of unhealthy or abusive behaviors. And by being a support to someone who's impacted in dating violence, we can work to ensure that this person navigates the ending to that abusive relationship as safely as possible, while respecting their autonomy and prioritizing our self-care as a bystander. The more we talk about it, the more we spread awareness on the issue of teen dating violence in hopes to prevent it and also recognize when someone needs our help and support. So please visit loveisrespect.org, visit joinonelove.org, and also visit Safe Harbor's website at shflny.org, where we have more information for you and more resources. Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes, once again, is available 24/7 at our hotline number, 1-800-247-7273. Thank you so much for tuning in, and join us next week for our Insta Live on Friday.